Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today I'm going to be checking out a 2012 Scion IQ. So this is a really neat little car, and when I say little, it is small. Very small. It's not quite as small as a smart car, but this is more like a traditional car, unlike a smart car. It's a front-wheel drive, engine's in the front, has power steering, 16-inch steel wheels, stuff like that. So let's go ahead and check out here in the front end. So this one has halogen projector headlights, and you also have a reflector headlight there at the very bottom for your high beams. And it just has a really wide, relative to its size, stance. So that way you get really good stability, and while driving it, you don't really feel like you are driving a little tiny car. You feel like you're just driving like a Honda Civic or something, or a Toyota Corolla. But the short wheelbase is the only thing that makes it a little bit more noticeable. But other than that, it feels very comfortable, even at 80 miles an hour on the highway. It's amazing. So let's look over here. Now you notice how big the doors are. Now the door is pretty much majority of the side of the vehicle, but let me just open up this door so you can get an idea of actually how big it is. It's a really big opening, bigger than a lot of four-door cars opening, so it's easy to get in and out of the vehicle. And the seats are actually, and the dash is actually staggered a little bit. So you have the steering wheel's there, and then you can see the dash here on the passenger side is a little bit forward, and that allows you to pull the seat up. It gives you more legroom here, but also allows you to pull the seat up and access the back seats. And yes, this vehicle has back seats. We'll show you that in a second. So there's the inside of the passenger door. You can see it has the automatic power windows. You have a little speaker there. You have the piano black accents, the black and gray. Then you have the name Scion right in here. No glove compartment. That's kind of a space saver. So it does have this tray underneath the seat, so this can pull out this tray right here, and you can put your stuff in there. Kind of a substitute for a glove compartment, which I think works well. Okay, so I pulled the seat forward, and to where you pretty much have a minimum amount of legroom here in the front. In order to show you the legroom you can have here in the back. So with the back seat, legroom with the seat in this position is I could probably sit back there. It's not too bad. So let's go ahead and take a look at the back seat. Now, the seat behind the driver's side is pretty much unusable except for maybe a car seat or something like that. So you can see the seat is pressed up against, the front seat's pressed to get up against the back. But this seat on this side is designed to be usable by an adult, kind of a small, medium, size adult. So you have a cup holder back here, which is pretty cool. But I mean, the back seat is just for like a pinch. I wouldn't go on a long trip sitting in the back seat or anything like that. But I was really surprised that it does have back seats, and it does have the headrest here, which you do have to take off in order to fold the seats down. Okay, so let's take a look here in the back. You see you have the IQ badging there, the Scion badge, and the Sparks Toyota badge. Okay, so opening up the trunk area, you have a little hatch here. You push that button, it unlatches it, and it goes up quite a ways. It does kind of, like if I were to stand straight up underneath that hatch, I'm gonna bump my head. So I kind of have to, duck my head slightly to fit underneath it. But here's your cargo area. When you fold your seats down, you can have this cargo area, and it's pretty decent size. I mean, it's not that bad relative to some other vehicles, but you do have this little compartment here as well that you can put stuff out of the way. So even if you have the seats up in the upright position, you still have a little bit of space here, and you can put some stuff in there. So that's pretty cool. So this vehicle does not have a spare tire, probably no room for one. So this actual tray lifts out. There's little clips that I took off first, and it kind of goes up here, and under here is your tire inflator kit, So it does have a tow hook there, tire inflator kit, and actually a little bit more space to put some stuff. Now, this right here is for the manual. It fits right in there. So the fuel door is on the driver's side, and it's not very far from the door. Check it out. It has a little tether there, and you can hang the cap right here to keep it away from your paint. This vehicle has pearl coated paint, which looks really nice in the sun. So this is what the key looks like. You have the lock and unlock button and the Scion emblem on the other side. So let's go ahead and start it up. Here's your floorboard area. You can see the floor mat clips in so it doesn't slide around and get in the way. And there's your accelerator and brake pedal, and then you have a place to put your left foot over here. But actually pretty good amount of leg room. The seat is all the way back right now, just to kind of give you an idea. And with me driving it, requires the seat to go all the way back. So let's go ahead and take a look under the hood. To open the hood, there's a little latch just a little bit to the right of center, and it's right there. So you just kind of reach in and lift it over, pull it over to the left, and check out this little tiny hood. There's a little prop there to hold it up, but the hood is so tiny relative to the vehicle. It's so neat. Okay, so it's a front wheel drive vehicle, engine's in the front, pretty traditional there. You have the strut tires there, and then you have a 1.3 liter 4-cylinder engine that's paired to a CVT automatic transmission. There's your battery, and I was really surprised that it's not that cramped under here. There is some space to access things, so I was really surprised about that. I thought it was going to be just crammed in here and you can't really access anything, but really it's not too bad. It's I've seen worse. So the driver's side door, it's just like the other side. You have some bottle holders there, power windows, there's a speaker, but both of the power windows are automatic, and look how fast they are. It's pretty quick. It's automatic, one touch up and down. Then you have your door lock controls, and then this locks the other side window, so that way if you don't want kids to play around with the power windows, you can lock them out. Manual adjustments on both seats, and you have this lever is to go forward and back, and then you have the other lever to tilt the seat. The seats are cloth, and you have this textured pattern here on the bottom, and then just kind of a plain black cloth on the back, and then fixed headrests. Your side mirrors are adjusted here. You just pick a side, and then you can adjust it, and then you can adjust your interior gauge lights right here. Now it's a tilt steering column, so you can kind of go up and down slightly. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look here on the inside. And I have pretty decent amount of leg room and knee room. I mean, I'm really comfortable in here. The seat's pretty far off the ground, so I can, my knees aren't sticking up in the air. I can't really put my legs straight out, but almost. So here's your steering wheel. It's a leather wrap steering wheel with the red stitching here on the inside, and it's a little bit of a flat bottom steering wheel, which is pretty neat. Then you have the grips here. The Scion emblem is really high quality looking and feeling. And then you have a volume for your radio, change through the stations here, change through like AM, FM, that kind of thing. Your windshield wiper controls for the front and back are on the right side, and your turn signal and your headlight controls are right there. So here's your gauges, and you have a real simple speedometer, and then you have your RPMs there at the bottom, real small. And over here you have this little digital screen which has your fuel gauge, what gear you're in, your clock, your outside temperature, and it has your like this little bar right here that will give you an indicator of how well you're driving as far as your fuel economy. And you can kind of cycle through different screens. Right now I'm not driving, so it's not going to give you anything. Push it again and it's going to give me actually what the average has been for the past, I don't know, ever since I reset the trip. So you can see it gets 39.4 average miles per gallon, which is not too bad. It was over 40 earlier, but driving it around a town a little bit, lowered it slightly, but still it's really good. And then you can adjust your clock with this button. So you have this mode and then the clock, and continue on with this mode. It has an eco mode you can turn on and off. The only thing I can tell on the eco mode is that it turns on a light. Other than that, it's basically the same. It just turns on a light while you're in eco mode. And there's your average miles per hour, odometer, trip A, trip B, and then it goes back to that screen. And I really like the materials. It has like this brushed plastic here, and then you have the shiny black, you have a brushed dashboard. Everything is really high quality. Have this textured plastic here. Has a soft to the touch surface there, but just overall it looks and it feels quality, everything. So here's your radio, and it's kind of, I guess it's kind of simple radio. It does have Bluetooth to where you can play music through the sound system. You can also send and receive calls. It has satellite radio, but it's pretty basic as far as controlling it. Of course, the controls on the steering wheel, but you can have your volume knob here, and then change through the stations. You do have a CD player there, and you can eject it. Then your presets are there at the very bottom. So then you have a repeat and a random buttons there. But it's a Pioneer sound system, so that's pretty neat. There's your metal accents around the center there, which looks pretty neat. And I like that with the way this kind of protrudes up from the dash. That way you don't have to take your eyes too far off the road in order to see the radio, so that's really neat. And your climate control is down here, and it's kind of like in this vertical position. It's unlike other vehicles. So you have your fan speed, where you want the air to blow, and then your temperature. You have a 12-volt power supply there, a little pocket where you can see that wire is, and then you have the door lock controls there for locking and unlocking the doors. Your traction control, you can turn that on and off, and then you have a USB and auxiliary inputs right here. And here's your shifter. It goes reverse, neutral, drive as a sport mode, which works pretty well. It holds the RPMs and gets you going really good. Then you have a downhill descent type thing for engine braking, in case you need some engine braking to slow you down. So there's your parking brake there, cup holder, and then you have this neat little spot right here to put some stuff. Just kind of the center space. I guess you could put one of those little organizers there, but just leaving it open seems to work well. Okay, so here's your rear view mirror. It's a manual day and night mode. And up here is this is the only interior light the vehicle has. So right now it's set to turn on with the door opening, and check it out. You can move it around and aim it to where you want it, and then you can turn it off, and then you can turn it on. So it has this little tiny, what looks like a LED light in there, and it's just kind of a spotlight, so you can get it right where you want it. It does not illuminate the whole vehicle. So the visors have mirrors on both sides. So let's take a look at the visibility. It's really easy to see out the back. So you can see pretty good. Now I've heard people say about the blind spots back here, but really it has those side glass, has a big opening there, and as far as looking over your shoulder, I don't have any problem with that. So I'm not sure what they're talking about, because there's not much blind area. It's not much space behind you for a vehicle to hide, you know what I'm saying? So it seems to be very adequate with me driving it around. Okay, so there you have it. 2012 Scion IQ. Very rare car around here anyway, and they're going to stop making Scions, and 15 was the last year for this vehicle. So thought it was a pretty interesting vehicle. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.